Girl broke way. Girl broke way.
Good morning and welcome to Sunup on 7. My name is Renata Samuels-Cod.
Okay, and my name is Brandon Usher, guys. Today is March 25th, just like that. Right, so next week, done the 1st of April, you know.
And it's Easter!
Yes,
everything.
guys.
Oh, the holidays, the breaks, the time for Remember Christ Risen, and all that good stuff. And
Sargassum, yay.
That's going to be talked about on Couch Talk, guys. We got dynamic Couch Talk to dive into. What segments do we have?
Right, so we have Bell Pre-UB, that's the Belize Policy Research Institute of UB, coming in talking about a new policy tracking app coming out soon. So stay tuned for that.
And we always want to track a good policy. But we're also still in Women's Month, so we're going to be talking about a Women's in Business Expo, so find out all the details about that. Also, we're going to be talking about the relationship between Belize and Taiwan and how we can strengthen that. So all that, so much more. You know how this works.
How you work?
Put your comments in the comment section, make a live interactive phone, and respond. Of course! Trying to go to your house.
Don't stop. Girl broke way. Girl broke way.
I've come to find that the truth isn't what we were told. So where
to everybody on Sunup.
do I seek the answer that's worth looking for today? Just in time,
He's here to talk to us
the
about
writing appears on the
show that we're on
wall.
right now. Tell me,
You
this
and
is what you're
I were the first ones to see.
And we're going to be talking about the hush that has been
The
happening
world
over
that
the
we
weekend.
see
So
may seem that it'll never change. They say, but if you tear down the wall that's blinding us all, you'll see the way today. A place to call your home, a place where you can grow. Stand by me and we'll take flight. We'll be there at morning's light. I've got you covered on all concerns we share today. You will discover how the world turns each day. When the sun
Good morning, my beautiful people, and welcome to your Wednesday episode of Sunup on 7. So before we bring you the show, we have to bring you the weather and the traffic courtesy of the Belize Met Service and Smart.
A good morning, Belize. Our radar imagery, satellite and surface observation showed that clouds had increased over the country overnight, with a few showers affecting central and some southern coastal areas. Conditions has become slightly moist and somewhat unstable over our area. The 24-hour forecast, skies will be mostly cloudy with a few showers likely occurring mainly along coastal areas this morning, gradually moving over some inland areas this afternoon while decreasing. Then, a few showers could likely redevelop and affect some coastal areas later tonight. The maximum temperatures for today will reach 83 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 86 inland, and 79 up in the hills. The low temperatures for tonight will be around 72 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 64 inland, and 59 up in the hills. The winds will be from the north-northwest at 5 to 15 knots, becoming north-northeasterly later this morning. The sea conditions will be choppy. A low tide will occur this morning at 7:58, followed by a high tide this afternoon at 2:29, another low tide tonight at 10:48, and another high tide early tomorrow morning at 5:30. The sun rose at 5:52 and will set this evening at 6:04. The moon will rise this morning at 11:20 and will set early tomorrow morning at 1:08. In the Sargassum forecast, satellite and surface observation showed numerous sargassum mats in the area. There's a high chance that more mats will drift ashore during the next few days, impacting coastal destinations across Belize. In the fire risk forecast, the risk for forest and bush fires will be moderate over northern districts and low elsewhere. The outlook for Thursday and Thursday night, skies will be cloudy. A few showers and isolated thunderstorms will likely occur over most places, especially along the coast. For a review of our forecast and other products, please visit our website at nms.gov.bz. Our next forecast comes out at 12 p.m. this afternoon. With that, we end this morning's forecast from the Belize National Met Service.
Have the weather, guys, and yes, those clouds over the area. This morning I wake up, not even wake up, it was a nice cool morning. I got bathed up. When I did bathe, when I start getting ready, that when I just hear one downpour happen, and I'm like, what is this? Because I had my back door open because of the dogs and what's not.
Oh shoot, so you placed the weather?
Start pouring, and I had to get ready, right? I didn't realize this.
So you don't want anything we are running to your shower for going, yeah.
Well,
I think everybody's had that, right?
I think I'm gonna brush teeth at that point. So,
so not so bad.
But I never realized I forget the back door open. So yeah.
So when I let that bush, you just want every place open because you just want the bush breeze coming in and cool off the place. Hopefully
the pitter-patter on the mango leaves. And right now, Ren, because the blossoms then don't drop off, you start see the leaf green thing then and start sprout out.
Hey, the serenity. One thing, there's no place like home. There's no place like bush, right?
No place like bush.
The bush.
But good morning to you guys out there, and especially good morning to you, Claudia, because Claudia done jump down my throat. Renata got you out this morning, Brandon. But thanks to Sharon Larson. She said, yes, but Brandon, catch up back to you. So.
You say catch up at the end. So yeah.
Good.
You know what, guys? We're just having a good time. We're having a fun time. We're here for the good vibes, the good energy, the vibrations, the deliciousness. It's just, you okay?
Yeah.
I'm good.
Deliciousness. Got it.
You have to say it with confidence. Like I've always learned that, you know, whatever you say, just at least say it with confidence, even if it
wrong and strong, no?
Wrong and strong. They could look direct and direct, wrong and strong. There's a two. There's a two, okay?
But, Ren, yes, we have a jam-packed show for you guys today, so we will be going through this couch talk. Right?
A little bit quickly, too, so just stay with us, guys. We're going to try to also read comments, so we're all in this together. High School Musical.
Okay.
All right.
But moving into our real-life musical now. This one is Singing to Our Pockets, and basically diesel has gone up.
By how much?
$2.50, and that's in Belize City. So could you imagine the fuel that needs to be exported to our other parts of the country? Yes.
So we're obviously predicting that in PG, those areas down south, they're probably going to be getting a little bit more than the 250, maybe like a 280 or something along that line. But we're feeling we'll know it soon, very, very, very soon when it comes to
$14.55 yesterday, guys.
That is crazy work.
But it's the impact of this. People might say, oh, well, me drive premium, me drive regular. Yes, you have that $13
cost
thing
of
there.
Production, people.
Yes. But guess what? Your buses, they run pan that. Your government vehicles, they run pan that. Your other transportation, your big trucks, your people with bring their vegetables in. All of these things run on diesel. So guess what that means?
And you also, this is the problem where I think many of us sometimes we understand, but we not understand, where these things go up. And if you want to break even or even make a small profit, you do also have to look at your cost of production, what's going to be taken to get goods from point A to point B, you know, vehicle maintenance, all these different things. And it takes a toll on the pocket of any business, any entrepreneur.
All the way.
Everybody.
All
And so then you, as a consumer, will have to pay. And then remember, you do also have consumer power. So you can choose to not pay. But then, of course, there's very limited options in our small economy. So we will expect to see something happening very soon. We do also know and report that last night, just before, because it happened in midnight, when people were finding out about this, they had a lot of people who say, you know what, I just need to fill up a leak quickly.
I don't know if they have the
Before-
picture of it. I think they do have
Do they
the
have
picture
it?
of it. Where
Man.
you see the gas station completely filled, and then one man in at the back of the pickup with 3 huge of them blue drums where you
You
know
might go
use
fill
garbage.
it up. My liver go fill it up. Because,
Fill it up.
again, it's going to be heavy on the pockets of the persons who feel it, who knows it, who understands it, and who's got to live it.
Everall.
What Everall
Really?
say?
Everall. But now I have nothing to do with diesel. See, yes, look at this. Look at this footage here.
Yeah.
This is the Puma on the Northern Highway.
And again, remember, people just need to make sure
This is
that
the 100.
they're getting the most out of their miles, and, you know, you need gas to do
Wow.
that. So
Wow.
diesel.
But yes, guys, say hello to your new gas prices. But moving on to our second topic this morning.
And the budget speeches are heated, fiery, juicy, filled with love too, Brandon.
Yeah.
There's a mixture of everything, baby
course.
boo. There's like
all is fair in love and war. no?
there's profession of love and like, you know, I love your Madam Speaker and everything too under itself. Brandon, I'm sure a lot of people were in tune with what happened with Honorable Mark Chang when he was doing his
Yes.
presentation of the budget, and you know, he was really on Minister Julius Espat.
Right, especially on the area of housing. No.
And the cost of these houses and the fact that his constituency, as well as all of the other UDP members, he checked with them twice, made sure it was not here nice, and saw that none of them received what? What did they not receive, B?
They did not receive houses. They said they
No
want.
house.
They're calling for an inquiry to see how these houses have actually been distributed. Who are these people that they're distributing these houses to, and on what circumstances? And he demands that this is not the PUP's money that they do this. This is the public purse that is providing for these people. So guess what? Public money should provide for public accountability and disclosure. So release the files. Yes, release the housing files.
I was like, look at him. The fire come in at his heart and the passion was shown. And I also want to say that there are a lot of persons that were bigging him up and saying they didn't see this side of him before. He's becoming now a crowd favorite for a lot of people. Actually, I see Claudia in the chat talking about how she loves him now. So they're seeing him in a new spotlight because, again, the fire, the passion. And what I also want to say, B, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong, Minister Julius Espat, was normally, he has always in the past been a very fiery, trailblazing person. But we have seen in recent that he hasn't been very much vocal as much as, you know.
What?
He not has been as vocal in the sense of
You must say
the
the
answer
Russian.
back.
He was answering
No,
back.
yesterday, yes, the one where they said how, you know, he was practicing a lot of calmness.
Well, because I'm a budget man.
before.
You know,
The
budget.
bef-
No,
so when you come and attack Miley by the house and how much the house costs and
But not even the
square
house, right?
feet and all
They
that,
come
what?
back to me now. How about the roads that we are paved to the moon?
We're going all the roads to the moon. You know, at least somebody said we're not to eat roads because that is something that has been said before.
Yeah, it has been said before, but we're paving roads to the moon,
Why
but then
not
the
moon?
farming roads are not being taken
And that
care
no
of.
break you no money.
Exactly.
And then that she the thing about vegetables and Miley by chow man and Miley by make sure they know that like well with chow man and I got any kind of vegetables right now and
Right, Michelle? He's doing what the opposition needs to do. He's
is
proposing
exactly.
to it, right?
I was like, you know what? I can respect it. I can see it.
Right, but you know what? On a point of order, and I put that one in air quotes because guess what? There was no point of order when Minister Espat was talking about there's a lie. He's lying. There's no 100 houses that will be produced this next fiscal year. That's not in the budget.
Then he said,
Madam Speaker,
if
is
I
like
the
that
lie,
is not
the
a
budget, the lie, Brandon. If I the lie, the budget, the lie.
Madam Speaker, I had to put him in check and say, you know what, that is not a point of order. And
Yeah.
that is when the proclamation of love came out. Madam Speaker, you know what? You are a very fair, Madam Speaker, and I love you. I love you for that. I'm like, oh, okay. And the speaker just like, that's not necessary. That is not necessary
Hey,
to say.
I will have to say, man, I really appreciate the grace that this woman has, man. Speaker, like, she really needs some flowers for how she
Yes,
handles
she does.
the house every
She
single
does.
time. Like, I know she has to take Wally pills afterwards, Wally tell her, no, there's something from
No, you know, remember where you said she goes for her walks? and she just
yes, you're right.
flushes out everything?
We did ask her about that. But, you know, we're seeing, this is how it's supposed to be. I think it was a lot. Yes, there was back and forth, but to me, I think there was some slight level of respect as compared to how it was the day previously before. So we're going to continue to see what's going on.
Right. Moving on into our third topic here. And well, the news came out yesterday. We were supposed to report on it in Couch Talk yesterday, but a very complicated thing that I have condensed for you. Spoonful, right? Talking about the whole Jerry Enriquez case for the redistricting of our land and voting and all of that, right? If you guys remember last year, there was an injunction or an application for an injunction put before the High Court where Jerry Enriquez and his and fellow colleagues had put forward this application to try to stop the general elections. No. What happened? We saw that went through a fiery, blistering end, which ended up at the CCJ. What happened in the High Court here in Belize now is that we saw the big exchange between his legal counsel, which is Senior Counsel Ram Logan, and the judge at that point, accusing the judge of actually making up his mind already, talking to another judge to try to seek another judgment that was already before him, things like that, right? That fiery exchange. Turns out that the application for injunction was denied based on certain things. So that was appealed to the Court of Appeal. When it came to a further application of whether the judge was biased and should recuse himself, that was denied as well. That was appealed. And there was a third thing that was also appealed. There was, yes, 3 different things that were appealed. Anyways, those went to the actual Court of Appeal, where the Court of Appeal denied all of them as well. So they went to the CCJ to argue, and yesterday what was found to be, wasted costs against Ram Logan. That was the third thing that was appealed. Because the judge said, you know, basically, wasted costs, guys, are just personal fees that need to be paid by the attorney to the other side, right? For wasting court's time, for doing major misconduct in your practice, things like that, that was appealed. So they went to the CCJ, all 3 appeals, and guess what happened?
Tell me,
The CCJ ruled, 1, that the judge is accused of being biased, does have the opportunity to hear an application because they're saying that, the judge never had no right to hear the application in the first place and issue a ruling. So they said that the judge is capable of doing that and distancing himself from that. So that was lost, but the next 2 are considered victories for our Belizean people. Well, the next one being that the judges of the CCJ, they realized that, yes, you know what, something happened here. So they allowed the appeal and said that the substantive case for redistricting and the injunction needs to properly be heard. So they reverted it back to the Court of Appeal to say, you know what, no need for hear this case out because everything was in order. You guys need to fix this, right? Landmark decision there. The second one that they were successful against was that the wasted costs against Ram Logan, they're saying that no, that cannot be the case. Yeah, what? That is completely allowed. Yes, you don't have to pay the wasted costs, right? So 3 different judgments came out, or 3 different orders came out, 2 in victory of the Jerry Enriquez faction, and then 1 in victory of the High Court here in Belize. So what does this mean for Belize? Well, we might just be hearing a redistricting case and an injunction. And if that injunction is granted, then that means what happens to the elections, right? And the election result that was done under illegal means. That will be another explosion to come for you guys. But victory so far for the Jerry Enriquez faction.
So we'll see how that continues, guys. So we'll keep you updated, of course, on that. And we move right along because time is of the essence.
So we spoke about it.
We've talked about this many times. We've seen the the new machinery. We've watched it pick it up.
We saw it
Just
destroyed.
minutes.
We saw us get dizzy off of it. We saw us, all of this. But we mentioned it in the opening here about Sargassum. We have Easter coming up, and Easter, we know we flock to the beaches of Belize, whether it be Placencia, whether it be San Pedro, or the other keys on a whole. We flock
People
to
go.
the
This
beaches.
is where they go. This is one of the highest. This is one of the biggest peaks, I would say, for tourism time.
Right. So, 9.3 million tons of sargassum is seen floating towards the Caribbean and Florida.
As of this March here.
Yes, guys, and they're saying that this will be another historic bar that has been set by sargassum washing up along our shores. And yesterday, Ren, I'm like, man, I don't say sargassum in Belize City until last year, right? When I finally saw it. But when I had a run yesterday, sargassum done the bill up front, like Moe's Pizza and then places, and I'm like, what already?
No, yeah, it's bad. It's really
This is
bad.
current situation in San Pedro. This was Joe Marie's story, and what people are doing to try to clear it up. And again, we don't have the machinery. We had 2 skimmers.
Yes.
2 of them are non-functional at this point, and what we understand is that the Ministry of Blue Economy, and Tourism, they have actually set forward to buy machines,
But
capable
unfortunately,
machines.
they're on the waiting list because,
Yeah.
as you know, this is not just a Belize problem. Climate change has caused all these things to shift, change, and move in a different direction. And so many other countries that are actually in a more financial basis, a better stance than us, have actually made queries with the same companies that we've made queries with to be able to purchase machinery. And so there is a list, and we're up on the waiting list. I don't know what number we're up on the waiting list, but we're up on the waiting list
Yes.
to be able to receive a machine. And I'm like, my goodness, you imagine how crazy it is that we literally have a list with wait.
Right,
And it's
because-
so serious that it's not just, so it's not just a thing for us. And I want to commend the president for the BTIA. He's like, at this point, it's not just a thing that we're just seeing here. We have to look at it as a crisis that's at hand.
Every year.
It's a crisis. It's affecting the livelihoods of so many people. The stench, the way how it is. And then, of course, entrepreneurs, business owners, they have to take it upon themselves because they can't wait until something happens, until the non-functional machinery becomes functional at some point in time. They have to try by any means necessary to kind of remove it how they can in the small sums that they can.
And you know what?
Tell me. Give me something positive, no?
No. I just saw people working on the sargassum this weekend. Like just there with their pitchforks and just shoveling
The
this
shovels
into
there.
the
To try
to
move
things.
there.
But the thing is, again, with sargassum, it's deadly. It's deadly for our marine life, and it's deadly for us as well because those toxic fumes that are released when they're decaying can cause numerous health issues, especially for people along the coast of Belize, right? So that is something that 9.3 million tons. That is, I can't even fathom how much that is, right? But imagine all of that drifting ashore. Imagine Placencia that has that little cove, the little cove of the beach itself, and how much things will be trapped there. What about Easter goers, beach goers?
I'm going to say this right now, like this is just a small snippet of how it really look,
And this is in central town of San Pedro, right?
I want Barbara to like, I live in Florida, we don't need that, yeah. A whole
Yes.
bunch of oats, and no matter what
Don't know where
we
you-
love,
yeah.
it might come, it ain't out. Right.
It's en route.
It's coming true.
But moving on into our final topic, guys, and well, this one it sparked a bit of controversy yesterday with Minister Mai. Oh, not Minister Mai, I can't even say Minister anymore, right? Representative Mai. He went for back surgery, but ended up coming back with knee replacement surgery.
So
What
of course,
happened
questions
there?
had to be brought to the table. Like, we know, we've talked about the reason you stepped down and you resigned and all of these things under the premise of horrible back pain. They couldn't deal with it anymore. You had to go make sure you've been getting the man. And we've seen the memes, we've seen the understanding, we've had people that question everything about this overall idea. We know that even before, he talked about getting different diagnoses and going, man.
I don't know, stunned so.
Hey, they never remember the story. They 100% remember the story. No.
Of course. I guess that's a recap for the people, right?
And so when interviewed by Jules about, everything that's taking place, he talked about how, he went to get his diagnosis in Merida. So it started off, we have to do like a lead timeline. No, that was two different ones. Yeah, it's fine. So he went to go get his diagnosis in Merida. And what happened, Brandon? When you go, these are the things. And I will say this, right? I'm sure many people, they go and get one diagnosis from a doctor and they realize that other problems still along the way. And so in the diagnosis, and Brandon's can be able to, approve and, add in some comments from this. When getting the diagnosis from the doctor, he realized that a part of his back problems and issues, they can fix his back problem. However, because of the way his knee placement is and the way he stands, it's causing more detriment to his back. So you could fix the back problem, but you might go right back into the same back problem afterwards because of the way how your knees sit. And a lot of people don't understand the connection between posture and back issues. And I think that is something big that should be also, brought to attention a little bit more for many persons out there that stand up in a kind of way that they slouchy and
you
so
might not even know
sleep
you're doing
certain
that.
type of ways, and you don't understand that the way you stand up, the way how you move yourself and all of these things can affect the way your back also feels. So, it starts from there too.
So, and that was what he was saying, right? And the question still looms as to why, not from Merida, because he was getting his test and screening at
diagnosis
Merida.
was from Merida.
To
However,
Guatemala, because even Jules asked him, like, what, are you afraid to go back to Mexico because of cartels or anything like that? He said no, because he was there recently on some agricultural conference of sorts. He went there and he went to Campeche, but it doesn't mean that, I'm afraid to Mexico. But why he went to Guatemala was never answered. But like you said, and I've been through it before with my back, where it's like, where is this pain coming from, to the point where you and Kevin saw me, I couldn't even, I had to ease myself to sit down. But coming to find out that when I went to the actual chiropractor there, or the wellness doctor, they were telling me that because of the way I had knee pain at that point and positioning my hip, my hip was like off balance, causing that pain in my back. After they done crack me up and whatever, I literally walk out to tie my laces, everything like that.
Brandon might have a hip and it's springy nice.
But they taught me proper stretches to crack your back, or if you're feeling any pain in your back, to crack your back and what's not. And since then, I have felt no pain, so thank you to that doctor, but I have felt no pain. And if I do feel a slight bit of pain, I know what to do to get rid of that pain. So in his circumstances, when he's saying that, yes, he had a bad knee, and he might be, because of the bad knee and you want to put pressure upon it, you don't even realize you lean on the next side. And after so many days, weeks, months, probably years of leaning that way, so guess what happened to your spine as well? Your spine is contorting to help support that new posture that will cause your back problems. So, like you said, when the doctors had told him that, yes, we could operate on your spine, but
your problem is your knee?
Your problem is your posture. So let's fix your knee to give you back that good posture. And if after therapy you need that spinal surgery, which probably he will because there's herniated discs, then we go back to spinal surgery. And when you reach spinal surgery, that's one whole next piece. When you reach your knees, in fact, any of your joints, that is a different world.
Yeah. Take care of yourself, guys. Take care of yourself out there, because you never know.
Miss Chandra, and I want to share you the actual doctor for that, because yes, when they give me all of the lead mechanisms for nerves and everything, I'm like, oh, okay, there we go.
And I will say, the older you get, guys, you should be able to find ways to stretch out, because your body don't work the same way like when you're younger. At least spring chicken, you have to get that Maya secret, that Bengay, whatever it is, and you have to be mindful.
And you know what, for Rasta Livity, you come back with Rasta K Livity now, okay.
Oh, okay.
All right, so you bring back the K. But, all right, sitting was never my thing. Because of the running and because of, my active lifestyle, my knees do hurt, but I never even realized that when I walk with one lean back type thing. That's what caused my back problem. Because when I sit down up straight. You see me on the couch, just I just sit down up straight.
Okay, Dr. Brandon, come true, Dr. Brandon, with the with the scoopity doop.
But yes, guys, that is the situation there, but we shall keep you posted on that. And that is the end of our couch talk. We do want to give a shout
We
out.
have a belated birthday shout out.
No, before the show, before that.
we have a
Before
next
that. Yes, go ahead with
Oh,
the-
yes, we do have a shout out
All right.
to
The
give.
cycling national team. Apparently, they did a great job in Monteria, Colombia. They're now number one in the
Number
Caribbean.
1 in the Caribbean.
11
Come
in
through.
Pan America, and 55th to 51st in World Road ranking. Yes, the press release was sent to the number attached here. All right, well, yeah. So that's on the Cycling Federation of Belize
Big up
page.
Cycling
Big up the Cycling
Federation. Look at you
Federation and the
guys.
national team. Congratulations on that amazing victory. Right. So then we get into our birthday shout
Okay,
out.
yes, and we have a belated birthday shout out for our very good friend Israel. Yesterday was his birthday.
Ooh, sorry.
Yes, and I was like, Brandon, you supposed to get it together for a week, cause like you know.
I know. You know what, Ren? Like I
Okay.
tell you, I've been so invested in my trial that I just
That
don't
we
even think about
forget
nothing.
you is we
I may
forget
think
you.
that today, yesterday, the 21st. Look on
That's
that.
not true. He did have his dates wrong. So Israel, we just want to wish you the
Yes.
happiest, blessed birthday. Galore may be filled with all of the love, laughter, and all good things galore for you.
Yes,
We thank you
definitely.
so much for watching Sunup on 7. We hope whatever you're doing for this new chapter, it's filled with new discoveries, happiness.
Oh, is it 30?
Why you have
It's
to?
30.
Why you have to give the
Because
man
you know
age
what?
out
No,
there like-
I'm welcoming
give
the man to the big 30-0.
Tell me if your back hurts you, yeah? Because his theory is as you hit 30, your
Oh, his
starts
back
hurt.
done the hurting. I don't know where to go
I
on.
know, but no man, no back problems, man. I swear.
Ren, you're not 30 yet, miss.
This
Just
year
wait.
I'm gonna be 30 and I have
And
no back problems.
And I
I'm
will
good.
gladly welcome you into the 30s, though.
Okay. So, yeah.
Happy birthday to you, Israel.
Blessed birthday. Big up your friend. Big up yourself. All right. And we do have a beautiful, beautiful sunrise for us.
Sorry.
And this one is courtesy of Nafe from Nigeria. So we're giving all the blessed birthday.
That is
Not the birthday,
beautiful.
no. Shout
Sound-
out.
yeah.
Thank you so much for this submission. Ooh, what happened
Okay.
to it? Okay, there we
There we
are.
are,
We just
there
want
we
to we want you want it. So here we are enjoying.
I'm just saying, though, if it's desert and meeting the sea, that is beautiful.
Mm.
That is really beautiful.
So it's definitely everything we want. And we're in our next country at this point, and we're happy for that. So yeah.
Yeah.
I like when you get sunrises from other places in the world, because then you get to enjoy something. The rats, the comfy Brandon. With that, we go to our first commercial break. And when we are back, we said we have a jam-packed show, super dynamic, ranging from the Women in Business Expo for 2026, talking about Sustainable Tourism Conference that's coming up. We're also going to be talking about strengthening the financial services ties between Belize and Taiwan. And of course, a Belize policy tracker that's going to be launched, discussing all the details of all these things. Stay tuned for all. We'll be right back.
Wholesale is the distributor for the full line of Badia spices, including the original complete seasoning, the perfect combination of ingredients and spices prepared to enhance the natural flavor of your favorite foods. Also, cinnamon powder for all your desserts, fruits, and beverages, and as special dishes. All these are available in commercial sizes or restaurant packaging. Nando's products are available at your local retailer or contact us at 222-5000. From Corozal to Toledo, Nando's is proud to be serving Belize as its #1 wholesale distributor for over 35 years.
Welcome to the V Department Store. We are conveniently located on Coney Drive in Belize City. That's right on Coney Drive in Belize City. At the V Department Store, we offer a wide variety of groceries, cosmetics, kitchen appliances, kitchenware, electronics, and more. We've also recently expanded to the second floor to better meet your household and office furniture needs. We now have a wide variety of furniture, home decor, and accessories. We have a shared vision for a comfortable and customer-friendly shopping experience. Visit us today and be warmly greeted by our reasonable prices and cordial staff. The V Department Store. Experience the ultimate shopping destination.
These charter means aren't
We're navigating along the coast. This morning, the 2023 in the...
Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Shireen Khalsil,
And here's what's ahead for you on 7 News Tonight. We've got details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight. Good evening. With your news, I'm Indra Craig.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Wake up to positivity and inspiration. It's a fresh and diverse twist on your mornings. Tune in to Sunup on 7 every weekday morning at 6:30 a.m. right here on your Nation Station, Channel 7. It's the morning show you don't want to miss.
These charter means aren't
We're navigating along the coast.
This morning, the 2023 in the...
Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Shireen Khalsil.
And here's what's ahead for you on 7 News Tonight. We've got details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight. Good evening. With your news, I'm Indra Craig.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
The roads of Belize connect us all. Riders, drivers, families, friends. Every day begins with a little routine and the confidence that life's journeys are protected. From school drop-off through the daily grind and everything in between, each with different roads ahead, yet one common goal: to arrive safely. Atlantic Insurance stands with Belize's riders and motorists with affordable protection, support, and peace of mind for the journey ahead. For the roads we share and the lives we protect, Atlantic Insurance is by your side, insuring you from life's unexpected. Atlantic Insurance, insuring you from life's unexpected.
Finally, a postpaid plan for 3 people. Introducing Smart Trio. Why pay for mobile service alone when you can share and save? Get unlimited national calls, text, plus 100 gigabytes of shared data. And the best part? It's only $135. That's right, as low as $45 per person. Perfect for small families, couples, or close friends. Smart Trio. 3 lines, 1 smart choice. Sign up now and you could win a Trio getaway to San Pedro for 3. Visit us at www.smart-bz.com for more information or sign up at any showroom today. Smart, bringing people together.
Nando's Wholesale is the distributor for the full line of Badia spices, including the original complete seasoning, the perfect combination of ingredients and spices prepared to enhance the natural flavor of your favorite foods. Also, cinnamon powder for all your desserts, fruits, and beverages, and as special dishes. All these are available in commercial sizes or restaurant packaging. Nando's products are available at your local retailer or contact us at 222-5000. From Corozal to Toledo, Nando's is proud to be serving Belize as its #1 wholesale distributor for over 35 years. Wake up to positivity and inspiration. It's a fresh and diverse twist on your mornings. Tune in to Sunup on 7 every weekday morning at 6:30 a.m. right here on your nation station, Channel 7. It's the morning show you don't want to miss.
Good morning, my beautiful people, and welcome back to Sunup on 7. So just before the break, Ren and I went through a number of Couch Talk topics for you that you could just go back and rewatch in case you need a little bit of clarification on things happening in our society. But we're jumping into our first subject this morning, and we're going to be talking about a sustainable tourism conference. And with us on the couch, it's a hybrid event. With us on the couch this morning, we have Mr. Andrew Usher, who's the Director of Industry, Development, and Guest Experience at Belize Tourism Board, as well as no stranger to our couch, Simone Bell, Investment and Innovation Specialist of the BTB as well. And joined us via Zoom, we have Ms. Sharon Banfield-Bovell, who's the Director of Resource Mobilization and Development from the Caribbean Tourism Organization. So good morning to all of you. How are we doing this morning?
Great.
All right.
Hi, I'm glad to be here and thank you again for having us.
Yes,
Ms. Sharon,
definitely.
you good? We're just checking with you.
Yes, yes, I'm great. Thank you very much for having me on.
All
I'm
right.
excited because
Great.
this is the first time we're having this conference in Belize, so we get to get into the details of it. So I'm going to give an opportunity to talk us up. How did we come to this point where we're having this here, the significance, and let's understand a little bit about that.
Well, great. Again, thank you for having us. Always a pleasure to be part of something great and to share the opportunity of exciting news of things that to come in Belize. So yes, the Sustainable Tourism Conference, of course, is a conference based on sustainable tourism development and planning. As you know, Belize, as well as the regional destinations throughout the Caribbean, we're all emerging destinations. We all have a great tourism product which contributes greatly towards our domestic GDP. And everything is basically a part or spin-off of tourism. It does not and cannot really exist in, a silo by itself. As far as the Sustainable Tourism Conference and how it became part of Belize, we, as Belize, organically, our tourism product really, dwells and has grown through sustainability. And one of the areas of works that we really do at the tourism board, as well as the industry, is strategic planning, strategic destination planning, development from a sustainable standpoint. And having this conference be part of our planning sessions and understanding, being part of the conversations and having that international influence that comes with this conference is something that's great for us as a country.
Most definitely.
Okay. So in terms of the conference itself, when are we looking at this conference, or where, or we know in Belize, but yeah.
Details and everything. So I'll bring Mr. Vaughan into this to give you all of the good stuff.
All right, so this conference will be taking place in San Pedro from April 27th to 30th. It's actually a very dynamic 2.5-day conference, but with a bit of a surprise in the middle. What we've done is, in conjunction with CTO, we've decided to have sustainability in action site visits as a part of the product. So you'll have 2.5 days that are located in San Pedro. And then there's 1 day that we'll all be going to wonderful sites in Belize. So we have Lamanai, we have Holchan, we have Hopkins, we have Cayo.
Oh, wow.
And we'll be creating experiences for all of our visitors to participate and see how we live and breathe sustainability.
Well,
so the sessions aren't sessions. The sessions are workshops.
Okay.
And for each participant, we hope that they will leave with the tools that are necessary to demonstrate resilience and more of the management practices that are involved in maintaining sustainability. It's very exciting. I'm very excited to be a part of it.
It sounds exciting.
Yeah.
And we just hope that the industry comes out and supports, because the tools and the information, there are sessions that range from all of the colors in tourism. We have blue economy sessions on how to apply red alert tools and strategies. There are very many products that comprise the tourism industry, as Director Usher mentioned, and there is something there for everyone. So if you're in health and wellness, there is the silver economy. If you're in digital technologies, there's conversations around the yellow economy. If you are obviously the most famous blue, green, and orange, we don't miss those out. But interestingly, we'll also have discussions about the black economy and how that impacts Belize.
All right. So interesting there, the black economy. Give us a little hint about that.
So the black economy is the one that escapes measurement. And I want to...
Flies under the radar.
Yeah, it's under the radar. But it's a significant contributor. So we would like to term it the informal structure that provides a lot of support to the economy. For instance, you have many small businesses who don't have the knowledge of formalization, but they are participants in the system. So it will help them understand and appreciate how they can go from being a small business to being more formal, and the benefits that formalization brings along with it.
There we go. So I want to, so it's happening April 27th to 30th, in San Pedro. Where in San Pedro specifically?
Sunset Caribe is the host hotel, so it's a lovely conference space. They have about 3 or 4 very large meeting rooms that were able, and that was the reason why they were selected, in addition to being able to accommodate very many passengers. And Ms. Sharon can just speak to how many people will be coming from there.
We want to hear the numbers.
Yes, I want to hear the numbers and where they come from. Ms. Sharon, go ahead. I think you're muted.
I think you're muted for some.
Oh, sorry.
There we go. No, you're there now.
You're good.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Excellent.
Oh, great. So thank you for having me. I first want to start by just expressing our gratitude to the Honorable Anthony Mahler, the Minister of Tourism, also to Director Tillett to Director Usher, Simone and the rest of the team at the Belize Tourism Board for working so closely with the Caribbean Tourism Organization in ensuring that we're able to bring what we believe is a very pivotal forum for reimagining tourism development pathways and regenerative tourism, so that we can pull together tourism leaders and persons and
I'm not sure.
Even fisheries and agriculture, climate institutions, because these are all of the persons that we've targeted who are coming to lend their expertise, but who are also coming just as delegates, so that we have that opportunity for high-level engagement. We have that opportunity for strategic discussions around these areas that Simone so ably spoke about just now, within the context of integrating blue, green, orange, and other economies into sustainable planning and development. So the juicy stuff, we're targeting at least, and we say at least because we're always opening our doors and welcoming more, 300 delegates to join us in San Pedro. And as I told you just now, those delegates will be coming from a number of areas, even private sector, stakeholders in tourism. Academia, we've also invited. And so you'll find that between the delegates and the panels that we will have, the master classes we will have, the breakout sessions that we will have, the wonderful ministerial roundtable that I know most persons will be looking forward to, where the minister will be able to engage with his colleagues in tourism and in other sectors to really get down to sharing their perspectives and their insights on sustainable tourism and regenerative tourism within the Caribbean. So we're gearing up for quite an exciting time, as Simone said, 2.5 days of full-out dialogue and exchange, and 1 day of being out there. And I have to say this, Belize is the perfect canvas when we use our theme of tourism in full color, and how we look at the blue, the green, the orange economies, the purple economies. And so that's in reference to what Simone was sharing as to some of the things that delegates will get to see. So you spend 2.5 days talking, learning, sharing, and then you get the opportunity to go out there and be touchy-feely. You get to see now what was being spoken about in those sessions, when you're able to go on a tour and see where that cultural setting is unfolding in front of you, or where you get to see the community-based initiatives and action, or you get to take one of the marine experiential visits to really understand how things like marine management happens, and how different zones are used for different things, and how there's just so much. And I've been expressing to Belize Tourism Board how excited we are about it, because there is just so much to see that will help people to recognize what we talked about, what we learned about, those tools and those strategies that were discussed, those solutions that were put forward. Here we are seeing how some of that can happen in front of us. So we're looking forward to a very action-packed, we call it, 3.5 days together, as we speak to this theme, this wonderful theme of tourism in full color, integrating blue, green, orange, and beyond economies into sustainable planning and development.
Oh man,
Sounds really exciting.
I know, I am excited.
I know that was a mouthful.
But when you put it like that, I could see why there's so much excitement, so much to build on this event. I want to talk registration, because I know we had put up the flyer there for registration. Of course, you want people to have early registration. There's 300 slots, and hopefully we could make more if there's more persons that could be able to do that. Talk to us about, costing. How does it work with that?
All right, so we have an online registration that can be found on the onecaribbean.org page. Just type STC 2026 anywhere and it's gonna pop up.
Oh, we love that.
But we also have the information available on Belize Tourism Board's LinkedIn and Facebook page. We are inviting all of our stakeholders. And also because a lot of academia is present, we would want to encourage students to participate. So there is a student ambassador program that was launched. The cost to register is 500 US,
Belize.
500 Belize
Okay.
for local registrants. And if you want to participate, and we do encourage you to participate in the site, the study tours, it's an additional 100, so that would be 350 US, $700 for the entire experience, and meals are provided. There's a lovely welcome event on the Monday night that you get to participate in as well, and then there's the Sustainable Tourism Awards, which will take place on Thursday. But going back to pricing, so that I'm not I'm not off track. We also have for students, if they'd like to participate, the flat rate of 200 Belize.
Nice.
And we've launched the Student Ambassador Program as part of an appeal. So we're looking for 2 students from each district to represent sustainability at the event. However, we would love to have as many people participate. San Pedro is on the more expensive side of our economy, so we'd like to reach out to corporate Belize and invite them to sponsor a student to participate.
Definitely.
Because we feel that the sustainability isn't sustainability if it doesn't account for the future. And to have the presence of all of our students in front of the minds that are now shaping the industry is a wonderful experience. It's probably a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for some of these to participate, and we definitely would encourage that. So going over registration again, it's 700 Belize for the full session, 500 if you're not doing the Sustainability in Action tour, and then it's 200 Belize to participate. And we do have day passes available, but we definitely encourage you to try. I mean, we're in tourism.
Right,
we price everything in US dollars, so we can squeeze out a couple dollars there to participate because of the knowledge that will be shared at the session. Director Osho?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's a very, I mean, think of it this way, you know, getting all of these wonderful international and regional minds in the room, you know, we'll have ministerial level, we'll have, you know, experts really in the field of regenerative tourism, of sustainable tourism, planning and development, coming right here to Belize, to our home country, right? If there was ever a time for our industry, for our country to really rally behind this and to get involved in this sort of discussion, now is the time. There's no traveling, there's no, you know, international stays. I mean, traveling, of course, but within our own country, but no international travel. So I really do encourage that, you know, all, you know, academia, students, you know, industry stakeholders, they really come out, participate, be a part of the discussion, have a seat at the table, right? Very important.
Is there an agenda shared ahead of time so people can also see like the topics?
There will be an agenda shared. We're finalizing the schematic, and we can make it public.
Sure.
However, we also want to say that the Honorable Minister Mala has heavily subsidized the cost for locals to participate. So, like, if you do ever get a chance to go to a regional event of this nature, you can see that the cost is actually very prohibitive for some people. And we took that into account, and it has been heavily subsidized so that more Belizeans can participate and get the information. And I just wanted to insert one little thing. There will be a lot of conversation about green climate financing, which is very important, because what is an issue for some of our MSMEs is the ability to lock into financing. And knowing what types of financing are available, especially in the sustainable tourism space, is an excellent opportunity for them to participate as well.
Definitely. And I mean, big up to Minister Mala as well for subsidizing the cost rate, no?
Definitely making things available, accessible. I'm hoping to see, you know, the corporate world out there sponsor a child. I know that you said academia is coming, so I'm hoping that persons that are in the tourism field or anything close to sustainability can be able to be a part of this conversation, because it's not just going to affect them now, it's later on. Like you said, all of the people that are championing are going to be in the room.
Definitely.
You should be in that room.
Yes.
So all information is going to be on the LinkedIn, on the Facebook page. They can go to
onecaribbean.org.
And I think Brandon has put that in the chat for persons out there. I want to allow you the opportunity to just say it one more time to somebody out there as to why it's super important to make sure that they're a part. And maybe I'm going to give Ms. Sharon this opportunity, because she gave us so much information and got us really excited. So close off this segment for us of explaining why you really need to make sure you're in that room, you have a seat at the table, and you're talking about this and you're being about this. Sell it to us one more time.
Thank you for the opportunity to close out. What I do want to say is that we should all be having these conversations now. It's very important. We see what is going on. We see how easily it is to be impacted by hurricanes and other natural disasters. We see how easy it is for health issues to impact our tourism industry and its performance. There's just an outbreak of something in one place and persons are traveling and then they travel to our destinations and we are impacted. And so we must not be in a situation of what I call that knee jerk, where we are reactive when something happens, but instead that we are planning and preparing so that when these things do occur, and they will occur, right? So we're stepping into a hurricane season very shortly, that we are prepared. We have the tools, we have the strategies, and that there are the solutions that we can all go back to our respective destinations, our respective organizations, our respective businesses, and be able to implement. So here is the time now to share, to hear from the thought leaders, to hear from the experts in the area, to network, because we learn a lot from each other. And so invitation extended to all, international, regional, local, coming together and having those discussions. It's going to be an exciting time. It's an important time for us, and we look forward to these discussions actually happening.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Ms. Sharon. Thank you so much, Mr. Usha and Ms. Bell, for that as well. But thank you guys so much for joining. And we go to our next commercial break. And when we're back, we'll be jumping into further conversations, important conversations at that too. Stay tuned.
These charter mains aren't from
We're
an
navigating along the coastline.
This morning, the 2023
Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Shirley Halsell.
And here's what's ahead for you on 7 News Tonight. We've got details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight. Good evening. With your news, I'm Indra Craft.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
For decades, BEL has powered Belize's growth and progress, lighting homes, energizing industries, and fueling national development. But in a world reshaped by extreme weather patterns, digital transformation, and evolving customer needs, the future of energy demands a new approach. The future of energy is now, and it's not just about new technology, it's about people and how we use, manage, and store power smarter. BEL is leading the transformation, blending modern advancements with the wisdom of sustainable energy practices. Integrating technologies will redefine how Belize produces and uses energy. With distributed generation and smart grid technologies, customers are becoming power partners. Energy is no longer a one-way street. BEL is making key investments that will reinforce the grid to make this a reality, ensuring energy security for generations. At BEL, we are more than an energy provider. We work to safeguard Belize's energy future, which will have demand response programs, where customers will be able to shift use during peak hours to take advantage of the new time of use or off-peak rate structures. Customer energy portals, real-time insights and tools to track usage and manage energy smarter. Smart metering, advanced metering infrastructure, faster, safer service and actionable energy insights. Distributed generation, integrating rooftop solar, microgrids and battery storage for two-way power flows into the national grid. Together, we are bringing you a brighter tomorrow.
Nando's Wholesale is the distributor for the full line of Badia spices, including the original complete seasoning, the perfect combination of ingredients and spices prepared to enhance the natural flavor of your favorite foods. Also, cinnamon powder for all your desserts, fruits, and beverages, and as special dishes. All these are available in commercial sizes or restaurant packaging. Nando's products are available at your local retailer or contact us at 222-5000. From Corozal to Toledo, Nando's is proud to be serving Belize as its #1 wholesale distributor for over 35 years.
Good morning, my beautiful people, and welcome back to Sunup on 7. So just before the break, we're joined with BTB as well as the Director of Resource Mobilization and Development for Caribbean Tourism Organization, talking about a sustainable tourism conference happening from April 27th to April 30th. It's promising to be great. Guys, I've put that website on the actual chat. That's onecaribbean.org, as well as go visit the BTB sites as well to register. Again, for those corporate Belize out there, please reach out and try to sponsor a student or two for this amazing conference to come. But we're jumping into another amazing thing that's happening, and we're here joined with Hiro Balani, CEO of Finance Belize, and Her Excellency, Ambassador Catherine Main, Ambassador for Taiwan, well, for Belize, Taiwan. And we're going to be talking about strengthening financial services ties between Belize and Taiwan. So good morning to both of you. How are we doing this morning? Or good evening, Ambassador.
It'll be good night there.
Good night, yes.
Yeah, it'll be night. It's night.
So how are we both doing?
Good evening, good morning.
Yes.
And good morning as well on my side. Thanks for having us. Yes.
We're excited about this conversation. I saw pictures when Hero was posting up on his Instagram, so I'm like, oh, there's a conversation coming very soon, strengthening ties. And I will say to also Ambassador, when I was in Taiwan, I spoke to some of the students and they were talking so highly about you. So just putting that little nugget there for some praise and love, giving you your flowers, because they're like, this ambassador is definitely working and always open to have a conversation. So good praises here.
Yeah.
Right. So
thank you. Thank you.
I want to start off this conversation though, and this is probably a personal but a general question as well. But I've been hearing about Finance Belize. Let me, Hero, as the CEO of Finance Belize, let me hear more about what exactly it is, what you guys do.
Sure. Well, first off, we're not a financial institution, so we do not offer loans. That's often
thank you for saying.
Brandon was like, dang, I could have gone alone here.
So let me just first clarify that. But essentially what we are is an agency that was developed to market and promote the financial services sector of Belize. And to try to grow that sector. So when you think about our economic drivers in Belize, you often think about tourism being the main contributor to GDP, followed by agriculture. But when you look at the data, 8% of our GDP actually comes from financial services. So those are the banking system, your insurance firms, your pension funds, all the different areas that we have, right? So Finance Belize was created in 2023. We are a subsidiary of the government, and we have an act of parliament in 2024. That officially recognizes this mandate, right? And so we're a very small organization, but our role is to ensure that we can grow the financial services sector, but also pivot to the future in the new areas like fintech. We have digital assets coming soon. So we have several new areas, but there are 8 key areas that we're focusing on right now.
Okay, all right. So as a brand new organization now, how has it been since the incorporation of it to now?
I think it's been good, because one of the things, Belize was well known again for financial services, and we've kind of done a lot to reform our legislation. Currently, Belize is one of the most globally compliant jurisdictions for financial services. If you recall last year in our mutual evaluation report, we actually set the global standard. We meet 38 out of 40 recommendations of the Caribbean Financial Action Task Force. So that's we should pat ourselves on the shoulder for that as Belize, because it's showing that we care about compliance, but at the same time we're serious about driving business and investment into Belize, right? So yeah, definitely I could share a bit more on the 8 areas. I think when you think financial services, it's not just banking, but in Belize, we're also pushing wealth management. You can establish a trust in Belize, a foundation. The new securities legislation is another priority sector for us, where we have a securities legislation that allows you now to do mutual funds, real estate funds, but also bonds. We often hear about the municipalities that have leveraged the bond market, right? And then you have company formation is another priority area. You can establish an LLC in Belize, a holding company. Oh, I think it was the other graphic. And then the other area is international banking. Currently, we have 3 international banks in Belize. The idea is to grow that sector, but we do have Heritage International, Belize International, and Key, right? And then the maritime registry side, that's another area we're promoting, which is Imarbe. We currently have about 900 ships globally that carry a Belize flag, and many people don't know that, but we're trying to ensure we get more quality ships on the fleet, right? And then corporate financial services, you can think about the BPOs, the call centers. And what we're trying to do is look at more value-added services. So how can we get maybe 5 accountants or 5 financial advisors in Belize, but provide that service to a firm in the US? And then the last 2 sectors are insurance and fintech and digital assets. So the last area that Finance Belize is pushing is that we will have very soon a Digital Assets Act, which can again open more opportunities. Currently, Belize does not have a framework, so we're working on that. But again, that's a very, an area that's many people have questions, but what we're trying to do is take a phased approach and to ensure that we continue to maintain that global high standard of compliance, right?
Wow, so Finance Belize is really doing
They're doing
so
a lot.
much.
They're small, but they pack a punch, and they're making sure they cover their grounds. And I think, you know, in this stage of, like you said, gathering information, understanding the market, understanding what is needed to boost and pivot to the future in a substantial way that makes people able to digest it is really important. So I understand that we had, you know, this trip into Taiwan, and it's been very instrumental. Ambassador, I'm allowing you this opportunity now to talk to us a little bit about, you know, how did the seminars go? Like, what were some of the big wows and the big connections that were made between Belize and Taiwan?
You know, there was so much, and as Hero has described, there's so many aspects to Finance Belize. And I think I want to highlight something first, and then we can jump into answering your question. Really and truly, when you look at finance is a very complex topic, right? And one that sometimes has all of these facets, as you can see from those pillars. Finance Belize's responsibility is to help to market and communicate that in a way where it appeals to potential customers abroad, but it's also understood back home, right? So in Belize. So that's a critical role that they've been playing, and I must say they've been doing a great job. And now coming back to the Taiwan question, really and truly, there was many objectives that we were able to achieve, but I think there are three that really stand out. One, we've recognized both within the Finance Belize body unit, meaning all the representatives that make up that grouping, the FSC, IMARBE, BCAR, etc. As a unit, we as a community here and from the embassy here and also our counterparts clearly understand that Belize is open for financial services as well, right? The Asian market, the Taiwan market is a prime market because there's a lot of potential demand. Right? And we have the package offer. That's a very competitive offer. That's a very safe and compliant offer. So most certainly we see there's a lot of opportunities there. We had a seminar and it was very well attended. We had the representatives that represent agencies that will ultimately widen that. So even if there are a few of the 35, their goal is to connect and bring in many different clients for instance, the International Business Registry as an example. And then among that grouping, we also identified there was a lot of investment, right? There were a lot of questions that connected to what really Belize has to offer. And this is point two. So alongside promoting the service offer in Belize, there was also these connections that connected and really allowed the investment and trade discussion to happen, not only on a product base, but also on a service base. And I think it's incredibly important that we recognize how significant services is to our economy and the development of our economy. When we think about trade, we think about products, right? Movement of ships, etc., etc. But services has this unique advantage of not having the logistical challenges that products will have, right? Meaning we connect via the internet, we connect via the mediums and the tools that are all electronic. And then there is these engagements that we could do with the beauty of virtual technology, like what we're doing right now, right? So that's point two. And point three is we got a great opportunity to liaise and connect with counterparts here. That brings trust. And when we think finance, when we think services, trust is an important factor in that. For bodies that are connected here, meaning the municipalities, the counterparts, so the FSC of Belize and the FSC of Taiwan. And in essence, we were able to talk quite a bit about capacity and long-term connections and benefits and trade arrangements like the ECA, for instance, which is the Economic Cooperation Agreement. So it was an incredibly successful trip, I would say. And I am, I'm very proud to see how successful that team was, how well organized they were. They came in and, we really did have a successful group and a delegation and a week here. And my hope is that this has built a lot of momentum and we can continue to do so. We see a lot of visitors. We've been so fortunate. There's a lot of Belizeans that have been coming. And I think Finance Belize did a wonderful job and we hope to continue to see them. And there's a lot of talk and chatter now on the topic.
That's good. That's amazing work. We're establishing, not only we've been hearing in Belize that yes, Belize and Taiwan has great ties, but now we're actually expounding on the financial services sector as well, right? And it's amazing to hear that, especially in terms of investment into Belize as well, that you over there, Ambassador, are doing a great job in connecting. Now it's just to have these people actually connect with us here in Belize, right?
And we know these things take time. Investment, being able to build the capacity and understand where to be able to pivot afterwards takes time. So on that same note, I understand that this was a successful seminar. So for practicality for persons out there, what are like the next steps coming that people can look forward to seeing from Finance Belize?
Sure. Well, definitely. I think, some of the key indicators and results that we were hoping to achieve was, like Ambassador mentioned, that bilateral exchange. So, for example, having the agencies in Belize, the companies registry, meet with the companies registry in Taiwan and see, okay, is there anything innovative they're doing that we're not? Or are we actually a step ahead, which, we found in some cases. But also the shipping registry to meet with their counterpart, the FSC, like Ambassador said. So a lot of that is to now look at potential MOUs or potential areas that they could exchange, right? That's one objective. The second now is, like that beautiful seminar you saw where we had quite a lot of interest, is to now hone in on those investment interests. Like Ambassador mentioned, some of it was financial services. Some were asking, can I open a bank account in Belize, or can you help me with certain different service areas? But some are actual projects. And that was interesting because some are actual investment interests in renewable energy, in agriculture. They had questions about different areas. So it was, I think, working with Beltrade, working with the embassy, and Finance Belize is ultimately trying to drive that investment ecosystem and to ensure that we maintain a good doing business environment in Belize. I think that's ultimately what investors out there are looking for, right? So
exciting stuff on the way.
Yeah.
And for persons out there that want to connect with Finance Belize and find out exactly what's happening, what's next, any information, where could they go?
Sure. Well, I mean, again, we are based here in Belize City. We have a small office, but you could go to financebelize.bz, which is our website, or email info@financebelize.bz as well, right? So this is something that while we started this relationship with Taiwan, leveraging, like Ambassador mentioned, the Economic Cooperation Agreement, but Finance Belize will be looking to other markets as well. So we want to look at ensuring that Belize is promoted and globally that there is awareness that we have all of these services in Belize, right? So I'm not sure if Ambassador wants to add anything else.
Yeah, Ambassador, is there anything you want to add to what Hero is saying right now?
Yeah.
I think you really said it best. We've talked about all these opportunities between Belize and Taiwan. We have a wonderful diplomatic relationship for many, many years. Now it's to turn this relationship into tangible achievements on trade and investment into Belize, right? And coming out of Belize into Taiwan. For the same reason, for investment opportunity, for economic growth. We definitely see that there's so much interest, and in my opinion, the type of questions that were being asked were questions that definitively connected back to an interest in finding the solution and the path to be able to do business in Belize, right? Business persons are not going to be taking time coming here asking these very significant questions in order to, they're serious about this. And then I also see that there are some that we see communicating and interacting with us very frequently. So they have the tenacity to be able to continue to see things through to achievement. And that's incredibly powerful, and that's incredibly encouraging also for us. So, it was, again, a great opportunity. It's just part of, the activities that we do for trade and investment encouragement. And I myself was very excited and encouraged to be able to see all of that. We also had an engagement where we had some of our students that came to join and help to volunteer to be a part of this activity, to learn more of what's happening in Belize and to connect with Belizeans while here as well. So overall, it was an incredibly successful activity, and we look forward to more and to turning these things into results. And yes, things take time, but we're seeing the momentum and the move. So that's very, very encouraging.
Encouraging indeed.
I love it. I'm excited to see what comes next. So for persons out there, they need to stay tuned for Finance Belize website and be checking what's happening. And of course, look closely to the next steps, because MOUs and these things, they take time. And I also want to make that very clear for persons. Don't think in next week things will be happening. Conversations do need to continue to take place. They need to be able to have things defined, and then we move from there. But this is great promise.
Yes, amazing work, both of you.
Definitely.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us as
Of
well.
course, and we hope to have a next follow-up conversation to find out more about Finance Belize, because the conversation doesn't stop here.
Yes.
It does not stop here. There's
Of
more
course.
work. There's 8 priorities, if I'm
Yes.
not mistaken. And
Yes.
so we need to talk a little bit more and dive
About
into
each of them, yeah.
Yeah, and so how people, the public, the general public, can have an understanding
Exactly.
and be able to maybe contribute and be a part.
Sure.
So with
So
that,
you
guys,
could get better loans somewhere in the future.
don't go to Finance Belize and ask
No, but
us.
building the financial, the area in Belize, then yes, you could get.
Most definitely. But with that, guys, we're going to go to our next commercial break, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
These charter mints aren't
We're navigating along the coastline.
This morning, the 2023
Good evening. Good evening. I'm Sheree Halsell, and here's what's ahead for you on 7 News Tonight. We've got details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight. Good evening. With your news, I'm Indra Craft.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
For decades, BEL has powered Belize's growth and progress, lighting homes, energizing industries, and fueling national development. But in a world reshaped by extreme weather patterns, digital transformation, and evolving customer needs, the future of energy demands a new approach. The future of energy is now, and it's not just about new technology, it's about people and how we use, manage, and store power smarter. BEL is leading the transformation, blending modern advancements with the wisdom of sustainable energy practices. Integrating technologies will redefine how Belize produces and uses energy. With distributed generation and smart grid technologies, customers are becoming power partners. Energy is no longer a one-way street. BEL is making key investments that will reinforce the grid to make this a reality, ensuring energy security for generations. At BEL, we are more than an energy provider. We work to safeguard Belize's energy future, which will have demand response programs, where customers will be able to shift use during peak hours to take advantage of the new time of use or off-peak rate structures, customer energy portals, real-time insights and tools to track usage and manage energy smarter, smart metering, advanced metering infrastructure, faster, safer service and actionable energy insights, distributed generation, integrating rooftop solar, microgrids and battery storage for two-way power flows into the national grid. Together, we are bringing you a brighter tomorrow.
Wholesale is the distributor for the full line of Badia spices, including the original complete seasoning, the perfect combination of ingredients and spices prepared to enhance the natural flavor of your favorite foods. Also, cinnamon powder for all your desserts, fruits, and beverages, and as special dishes. All these are available in commercial sizes or restaurant packaging. Nando's products are available at your local retailer or contact us at 222-5000. From Corozal to Toledo, Nando's is proud to be serving Belize as its #1 wholesale distributor for over 35 years.
Good morning, my beautiful people, and welcome back to Sunup on 7. So just before the break, we were joined with Hiro Balane, CEO of Finance Belize, as well as Her Excellency Ambassador Catherine Main, Ambassador of Belize in Taiwan. They were discussing strengthening financial services ties between Belize and Taiwan. Amazing things happening there, guys. Again, it won't happen just overnight, but it takes some time. But something that does not happen overnight as well are policies. And guess what, guys? We're launching a new Belize policy tracker. Well, it's launching tomorrow. And persons responsible for this is Belpre-UB, which is the Belize Policy Research Institute at UB.
You know, he said it so well this morning, right?
I know.
Now, when you call wrong, you get nervous. You say, I don't want to mess it up.
But with us on the couch this morning, we have Mr. Dylan Vernon. Yes, another Vernon joins us on our couch this morning.
Back today.
Executive Director of Belpre UB, as well as Mr. Devon Paulino, who's the policy analyst at Belpre at UB as well. But exciting things, because we also understand that this is the 1-year anniversary. We're reaching the 1-year anniversary of Belpre.
Oh, yes. Good morning, and Brandon and Renata. Thanks for having us on. And yes, yesterday, 1 year ago, Belpre launched at the University of Belize in Belmopan. And so we have had 1 year of life. And in that 1 year, we have done quite a bit. We had 1 staff then, we have 4 now. We have an office here in Belize City at the UB campus, and we have had several products, publications, including, I was on a few months ago when we launched the Belizean economy in the 21st century. Yes, and that's an example of one of our major research papers. But we also have, in between that and a newsletter we call Policy Pulse, in between that a new publication called Critical Voices, which gives Belizeans who have done some research but haven't published some outlet to share policy ideas. And we've had seminars, we've signed MOUs with national and international organizations. We have policy research underway, for example, on the national budget, and one on campaign finance regulation. And those are pretty well in train. And we have other things in the pipeline, exciting things in the pipeline. But we're here today to celebrate our first anniversary by launching the Belize Policy Tracker. And you know, when Belpre first started last year, one of the things we realized in our strategic planning was that for us to be effective, we have to know what's out there. We have to know what policies are out there. We have to identify the gaps.
Right.
But when we began to look, there was no one place you could go and say, well, let me see what is our policy on tourism or health or education or crime or mental health. There was nothing you could do.
Yeah.
And so because we need information, we said we're going to do a policy mapping. We're going to collect as many as possible. And then we're going to put this in a format that is easily accessible to everyone, a public service. And so that's how the idea was born. And so what has happened in addition to deciding to do it is that the research phase happened, and Devon will talk more about that, but it wasn't easy to gather all the policies.
I couldn't imagine. Look underneath every nook and cranny and rock and all kind of
When if on this one at table long time.
What were some of the challenges, Devon, you would say?
So because there's no central location on any one of the ministry website, we had to write to CEOs, we had to do, it's desk research, so we had to reach out to a lot of people. There were some that I was aware of. And so it was just the mapping phase, reaching out to people who I know, the policies that exist, Google searches. It was a very tedious process, but
And there were some
we're here now.
There were some ministries that would respond and say, here are policy. Others, people, we didn't know we had that, or something like
I
that.
could imagine that was the case indeed, picking up policies that, when was this even drafted? When was this? Yeah,
Did you find a lot of outdated policies?
So there are some outdated ones. That may be something that we look into later on, but we're trying to just map the ones that are currently in existence. And this is where the tracker comes in, to educate people. Some people may not know a policy may exist on gender. And so here we have the tracker.
So after identifying these policies, and one of the things we had to do was to say, we can't go back too far because policies had already expired, as you were saying. So we focused on the more current ones, the ones that we thought might be amended and revised. That led to the collection so far of, what's the number we have?
Over 80.
Over 80 policies. And that's not all of them, but these are the ones we are beginning with.
We have 80 policies in Belize right now.
In existence.
And then we had to conceptually design how we're going to present this. And so we contacted people in the region, including the Jamaican accountability meter portal, which tracks accountability issues. We got some good practices from them as well as from others. And we then hired a software designer to put this concept that we had into software and into a usable, user-friendly design. And that took some time. And of course, you have to collate the policies, do summaries, and so it took a long time to get the database ready. But we got it ready to a point a few months ago where we said we are ready to put it in and to launch. And so that's what we're doing tomorrow at the University of Belize in Belmopan, 10 o'clock at the UB conference room. And we will be pushing the button and sharing the policy tracker. The Honorable Dr. Osmond Martinez will be our guest speaker, and he will help us to do the launch tomorrow. He is the Minister of State, as you know, for Economic Transformation.
So this is going to be big. How much policies are we looking at again?
We're looking at over 80 currently.
Because it's going to be updated continuously.
Yes.
And you know the thing that boggles my mind right now
what
is
it
all
boggles
the work that Mr. Vernon here has talked about, but they have only been in existence for a year. So practically, like from day one when they start this thing, so how long did this take, really?
It took a while. Yeah, about that.
8 months, yeah.
About eight.
To get from concept to what we're launching tomorrow.
Wow.
And a big part of that was collecting the policies, collating them, and because, as Devon will say, we are providing a summary of each. We had to then read them, go through each one, do a summary, say when it was launched, if it's still in existence, when it expires, but
my gosh,
the user-friendly nature of this tool is something that we're proud of, and
Exactly.
And Devon could speak to that. Yeah.
Right. So we do know that policies do not only impact professionals. So we've tried to, we have made it very user-friendly in the sense that you could go, it will be placed on the UB, on Belpre's page on the UB website. And so you can go online, search it after the launch tomorrow.
I'd wait patiently because
Right.
I'm going to be.
Definitely. So what happened is there is an option to search policies by tags or by phrases. So maybe you want to look up policies for health. And so you could type in health in the platform. You could search by the year it was published. You could search by the public entity responsible for the policy and various tags. Now, when you go on the platform and you click, there's an option to view and download the policy document.
Oh, nice.
When you click that, it will then take you to the actual document where there's a summary. So we've taken time out to read through these policies to ensure that as a user, you'd want to know, okay, what this policy is about. And so there's a summary of that and, you know, the year the policy was published and the time span. And so that will be a part of our tracking and monitoring. And there is a section on it as well when we're talking about user-friendly, where you can actually create a profile that will allow you to subscribe to a policy or a public entity, whereby if there's an update on the policy, which we will be doing, the staff at Belpre, you will be able to get a notification that this policy has been updated or there is a change.
Wow.
There's a feature where you can also comment on the policy, and that brings us into the policy discussion. We want citizens to be involved in the policy discourse in Belize, and so there's that. Yeah.
I hope you know, Devon, that you've created you both created a effective tool for us lawyers here. Right?
And for media people, journalists. If you're writing a story on tourism and you want to see what's cruise tourism policy, you don't have to call the ministry anymore. Go look, you go on the site, bam, one step, and you get it.
For free.
For free.
free.
You just go eat.
And that's the idea.
I'm hoping also persons, if they go on the app and they're seeing that there is a policy that they have that is not included, that they would contact you also.
Indeed.
Because we don't have eyes everywhere.
Absolutely. In fact, in our brief, we do state that this is a base. And this is a community effort for all of us to build this. And so we will receive not only policies that we don't have yet from people who say, oh, but this exists, you don't have that. And we will add it. But we also make any corrections or changes to summaries that people see. So it's from now on, it's going to be a collective community effort to build it with Belpre at the back end doing the summaries. And one of the things that will take, and Devon will be leading this, is that we have to keep monitoring on a weekly basis developments in policy. Is there a new policy being announced? Is there some sort of white paper? Is a policy being revised? Is one ending? What will be done about it? And so we will be putting up updates on things like that on a regular basis. And no, for me, one of the key things is that the public in public policy is us. It's you. It's me. It's all of us. And sometimes when we talk about public policy, it's this airy-fairy thing up there, and we're not connected to it.
Right.
And we aim to make this tool one that bridges that sort of lack of information and connection to the policy with people. Because we're providing a section on it for commentary, it can also be used for consultation, for discussion. If a new policy comes out that is drafted and we put it up and we update and say this new policy is being considered, it could be one of the ways that the government gets feedback, that the ministry gets feedback. And so there are quite a few things we can do with this tool. And it is a tool, and like anything that is a tool, it's how you use it. And a good example is this one. and so we are going to be having a a video on the first page that shows how to use the tool. And one of the things that we could add, Devon, is that in addition to all the ways to search, you can also search by who is responsible for the policy, which ministry, which authority in government is responsible for the implementation, well, the creation and implementation, so that we see the progress of creation and implementation and can do some monitoring. We at Belpre also have a section that is for us, which is called policy analysis. And so we will select every now and again a policy to give Belpre's own views on maybe it's a draft for what we think, if it's being implemented, how it's being implemented.
I was going to ask that question
And,
because a lot of policies look pretty on a desk and they're not being done, not being implemented. There's no finances for implementation, enforcement.
Correct.
So
It's called policy evaporation in the lexicon.
I do have a lot of that.
But Dr. Vernon mentioned something key that is built into the platform, and Mr. Asher might like this, in that we have some, I don't want to speak much on it, but we have draft bills in the system. And that is key because legislation affects everyone, policies affect everyone. And so the discussion feature on the platform allows to give feedback, you know.
Oh, wow.
And so, like Dr. Vernon mentioned, the government can easily go there to see what the public is saying about the draft policies or bills that are in the system.
I love
Look at
that.
y'all. You guys,
Yes.
I love what you did.
Immediately that collects in my head is, has the Bar Association been alerted about this?
We've tried to reach as much entities as possible, the public, and this is a part of it as well, you know, informing the public about
Once we launch tomorrow and push that button, we have a promotion of the site that we're going to continue. This is before the launch, but after that, we'll be sharing the exact QR code, the link to it.
To the platform.
And we'll be doing another round of sharing. And then, build it after that. I mean, one of the things that I think that we should mention to Devon is that we couldn't have done all this without the support of the University of Belize. And as you know, one of the missions, one of the objectives of the university is to be a center of excellence in research. And so Belpre fits within that sort of objective of UB. And this is one of the ways where the University of Belize is working for the nation. It is helping to, through Belpre, to present as a public service this very useful tool for policy making. And by extension, policy making doesn't just sit there as a policy. It all goes towards national development, sustainable development. And so there's a connection, a direct connection to the tool and UB's interests in being a university that works for Belize.
Yeah, nation building, really.
This is exciting. I'm just thinking on the project basis of things policies that are needed to be drafted, that do need to be implemented and everything. And our project for people that draft projects and deal with different programs, this is a good tool to actually look at. Also, because it helps with knowing where finances need to be directed, where there needs to be updates and changes. So I just throw that out there to allow persons to check.
The tool, as you're saying, I think, shows you where the gaps are. Because when you map and then you ask questions, well, do we have a language policy in Belize? We don't. Do we have a migration policy in Belize? No, we don't. And so it shows the areas where they're either very weak policies or none at all. And I suppose one of the last things that I want to say is that when people go on the site, you will see that we have categorized in at least 4 broad categories what policies are. You have your policy statements, where government will just say a statement, okay, this is what we're going to do with cruise tourism. But it's not written out in any sort of strategic document.
Or traffic.
And then you have your executive cabinet policies that are actually like the youth policy, for example. That is, we'll talk about that before we go, but the youth policy would be a cabinet decision, and it is presented by a ministry, and cabinet agrees on it. And then you have legislation, which is the highest form of policy because it becomes a law of the nation that should be followed. And
I love how you're just speaking this.
but everyone wants a policy to be a law, because it gives more teeth and backative to what you're trying to do. And then, of course, there are other things that can be done in terms of just policy guidelines and regulations and the other category. But these are the broad areas that the policy will fit in. And so we categorize all the policies that we do in these areas.
Love that.
So that you can know what it is immediately. And if it's a draft, then it is clear that it's a draft. If it is expired, you will see that, and that kind of thing. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to downloading this app and having a fun time.
I know, right? But I think as a final word, I want to ask, probably you, Devon, I want to stress the importance of it and why people need to be interested and invested in this.
Indeed. So you mentioned something key, that sometimes government or public entities produce policies that citizens know nothing about. And so we're trying to educate everyone about policies. For example, there was a policy released 2 weeks ago that the public may not be aware of. And so we have that in the system, and it's a part of our monitoring. You know, policies affect everyone. We want people to be aware of it. We want people to be engaged in the discussion because they affect us. And so that is why people should. You know.
I can just imagine everyday life. Oh, you do something and one day you're just barred from doing this one thing that you've always been doing, not realizing that a policy was just passed midnight, gas raising anyways. A policy was passed and you wondering why no, I can't do this thing. And so, well, maybe if you access this actual app, this actual platform, you can see what happened, why it probably happened, why the need for it to happen probably came about. So all of this is on that platform, guys. There's so many different things that you are not aware that you're living by that are in policies. Or things that you probably think that you are living by that don't expire long ago.
The expiration of policies is a thing that just gets me. So I'm even going to my rant on that, but I'm hoping that persons are mindful of it and they can give them a push to know, because times are changing. So a policy in 2015 has to be updated to the present time of 2026. And a lot of times we wait till more than the 10 years, 5 years of what you're supposed to be updating the policy on to update the policy. So I'm just hoping that this helps. This gives that guidance, that support for persons to see where are the gaps like you mentioned before. But beyond just bringing in a new policy, let's also look at what is there, because there's also people who make us start this policy, they don't even know something was already in place. And then we have wasted resources. But you know what?
You know, Renata, you mentioned that. This is the last thing I'll say. This tool will be also a source of information for research.
Yes.
Because we say things like, well, the policy-making process in Belize needs to improve. There needs to be less policy evaporation, more coordination between ministries. We talk about these things, but we need data to show that that is the case. And so we ourselves at Belpre will be taking a look at that. And one of the things we are going to be recommending down the road is how do we improve how we do policy? How do we improve how we do policy? And this tool is going to provide some of that information in terms of some of the best practices, lessons. You spoke about policy evaporation in terms of short-termism. Some policies do not survive an election. It's a policy, and then the other party comes in, and then they ignore that and create something else. That is not the way to do policy, of course. And so we are trying to help create some better practices in that area. And I have to make an announcement that Belpre has been selected by the Ministry of Youth to coordinate the development of the national youth policy for Belize, and we are in the process of beginning to do that. So you'll be hearing more about that as we proceed.
Excitement.
And I know, Renata, you were involved in one of them because I see your name.
In it, so that's why I was like, we're going to have a conversation after that.
You can jump on the platform and put in your dialogue.
I supported with the facilitation of a lot of the consultations for that policy and helping to draft. So I'm looking forward to seeing that one properly be updated and materialize because there are a lot of hiccups in that. So looking forward to this, man. Good stuff. Tomorrow, guys, make sure you're getting... What time are we able to download the app? Because I'm putting a reminder.
I need to make a correction. It's not an app as yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's just a platform that's on, with a link. However, there is a mobile feature where if you access it on your phone, it gives you...
Gotcha.
We have already had suggestions to make it an app, so we look into that. But it's just like an app. I mean, it works just like an app.
Yeah, definitely.
And 10 o'clock tomorrow at the UB conference room, and it will be live streamed on the UB page and the Bell Pre page. And so you can watch it live. And yeah, at about 10:30 tomorrow, we will release the app and make it live. I mean the tracker, Belize Policy Tracker, and make it live. And you will be able to, everyone will be able to have access to it.
Okay.
Interesting.
Look out for social media pages where you will see how you access the tracker.
Excitement is coming on the way, guys. Look out and make sure you check out and share the information with others. We unfortunately come to the ending of our show. We have one more minute until evaporation.
For Wednesday alone, we'll be back tomorrow, guys.
We'll be back
But we want to thank our guests for coming in. We had BTB coming in talking about the Sustainable Tourism Conference, again, happening from April 27th to April 30th there in San Pedro, as well as 2 days of workshops and 1.5 days of traveling all over Belize for those persons who are interested. I put that website in the actual chat here, onecaribbean.org. We had Finance Belize coming in talking about the strengthening of the financial ties between Belize and Taiwan as well. Amazing things happening there. Guys, I urge you to go ahead on their websites and on their Facebook page or the social media pages in order to learn more about Finance Belize. It's not a loaning institution for those out there. And finally, Bell Pre coming in, doing their thing with this policy tracker launching tomorrow at UB. It's going to be live stream again, guys. It's very, very important that you Belizeans are out there looking at this thing. I've always said, you know what, withholding of information is withholding of power. This is a platform for you to educate yourselves. Get that power, learn more about our policies in Belize, how they move from policies to legislation itself. That is one of the amazing tools that Bell Pre is doing for you. Access it, guys. It's at your fingertips. And with that, we've come to the end of our show.
We send you off, guys. It's 8:30. Make sure you're out there getting uncomfortable because that is how you get comfortable too as well. So, in the spaces that you're at, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Muchísimas gracias.
A place to call your home, a place where you can grow. Stand by me and we'll take flight. We'll be there at morning's light. I've got you covered on all concerns we share today. You will discover how the world turns each day. When the sun comes up